Romeo was a homosexual. There's nothing anyone can say or do to convince me otherwise. Juliet spent all her time waiting around for Romeo to show up. And then he did. And then he died. And then she killed herself. When she could have just waited for another man to come along, sweep her off her feet, and she could have lived happily ever after. Just like Cinderella's Sleeping Beauty, Snow White. But she was an idiot. A mind-controlled, obsessed, drooling idiot. And she wasn't even blonde. But you know who am I to criticize Juliet when I myself have never even met a Romeo? Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? I can tell you the place he isn't. He's not here. And to tell you something else, Disney gave me false hopes. False interpretations about happily ever afters. I mean, come on. What was Cinderella, like a size 2? And a blonde. What about Sleeping Beauty? Blonde. Snow White? Well, she wasn't blonde. She had really fair skin and nice eyes and rosy red lips. As for Beauty and the Beast, well, I mean, come on. Her name was Beauty. And let's face it, guys do not ride around on horses with shoes in their right hands and say, oh, if your foot fits in this shoe, you must be my true love. What is a true love anyway? Personally, when I was a little kid, I think I spent more time with my Nintendo 64 and my guy friends and wearing blue jeans than ever wearing skirts, ribbons, or playing with Barbies. And no, I can't say I personally remember having a tea party with my teddy bear, Miss Brown. Or was she a Mrs.? I never really could keep up. I mean, she cheated on Mr. Brown so many times. She could have been a Mrs. Foster or a Mrs. Fox. I wouldn't know. All I know is that 2 + 2 = 7. Red mixed with blue makes orange. And Furbies? Well, Furbies are another story. Like, one story about a Furby is the story about my Furby. He was kind of cute, but people thought he was creepy. And then Unky Paul raped him, which made him more creepy. And I had to put him in a box so that he wouldn't make people sick. Just talking about it, it hurts a little. Right in the heart, you know? Oh, okay, I guess we won't talk about it anymore. Na, na, na. Do, 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 do. La, 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 la. I guess I could tell you the story about Tom and me. Yes, you may know him as Tom from MySpace, but I know him as Tom the person. You see, Tom never liked me that much. But I, being Diana, the person that I am, loved annoying people. And Tom just happened to be my victim for the week. Or was it a month? Maybe it was a year. Can't really remember. Anyway, I would send Tom messages saying, Tom, I love you! Tom, you're so cool! And I'd send him comments saying, Tom! And at one point, I even put him as my #1 friend on my top 8. Now, this was before we had top 18s and 20s and 30s and all that stuff. We just had 1 through 8. That was way back in the day. Probably before you were even born. Anyway, I guess it got a little annoying, you know? Having 50 messages in your inbox from one person, then another 132 from other people, and then there was me. I'd send like 500 a day. And on top of that, he had MySpace technical problems to take care of. Whatever that means. But yeah. So one day I signed on to MySpace, and Tom wasn't on my top 8 anymore. And so I figured, oh, maybe I moved him. I don't think I moved him, but maybe I moved him. So I went searching through my friends list, which is like, 250 people. Anyway, I went searching, and Tom was not there anymore. Nowhere to be found. And I called his name and said, Tom! Tom, where are you? Tom! Even got him Lucky Charms. I mean, come on. What kind of Irish man can resist Lucky Charms? Wait, is Tom Irish? Anyway, no. So I called him, and I was like, Tom! Tom! And then I realized Tom deleted me. And my friend asks me, can Tom delete people? Yeah, Tom can delete people. He deleted me! Not that I care. I mean, it was only Tom. I'm just like, what? 1 in like 80 billion people on MySpace? Speaking of how many people are on MySpace, don't you think that like that assembly that we had the other day was like really gay? Guys, like, what should you not put on your About Me section of your MySpace? Your cup size? Oh my god. Pokemon's on TV. I gotta go, kitties. Bye!